What's up, guys, and welcome to the Mommy Artist Podcast. These next episodes are going to be a little different because we are coming to you from one of the most creative cities in the country, Nashville, Tennessee. We're talking with Nashville artists about how they got here, how they survived the creative grind, and what it really looks like to make art while also living real life, families, kids, chaos, all of it. Because the truth is, creativity doesn't happen in one perfect, quiet studio. It happens in the middle of messy kitchens, late night ideas, and sometimes while someone is yelling, Mom! So, welcome to Nashville, y'all. Let's get creatively unhinged. What's up, guys? We're dreamers, we're moms, and welcome to the Mommy Artist Podcast. Now, let's get creatively unhinged. Our guest today is the definition of a storyteller. Lauren Lucas is a singer, songwriter, composer, and performer whose soulful Southern voice has carried her from Broadway to the Grand Ole Opry, from recording studios to international tours.
Got a husband sound asleep while you're wide awake, but you wouldn't trade a minute even for a longer night's sleep. No, you wouldn't take a million even when the shit gets deep.
She's a Tony Award nominated composer, an ACM Award nominated recording artist, and most recently helps create the original score for the new Netflix comedy Leanne, starring Leanne Morgan. She's also the voice you'll hear on the show's main title theme. Lauren has collaborated with music legends like Keb Mo, Taj Mahal, Blake Shelton, Kenny Chesney, and Old Dominion. But beyond all the accolades, she's also someone who understands the heart of what we talk about here: the power of storytelling, the emotional life of artists and moms, and the wild ride of building a creative career. Let's get into it. Lauren, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it is my pleasure. Thanks
No,
for having me.
no, you really, I owe this whole Nashville trip to you. And like, you are the essence of a girl's girl, and like the community of that you have like brought me into has been so welcoming and supportive, and so like Lauren is amazing. Yeah, we love Lauren. Like,
That's
so
sweet.
thank you.
Well, thank you for saying the girl's girl part. That is one of the highest compliments to me.
I agree. And it's something that I think we need more of. And there's not, everyone should be a girl's girl.
Agreed.
And the way that you helped me and did those like individual emails meant so much to me, because like I feel like I'm a nobody and you're like a big somebody.
Oh,
And like that really meant a lot to me. And when it happened, I like called my mom. I called Hannah.
I love
Yes.
that.
And it's a big moment for me to because usually, I mean, lately people have been reaching out to be on the show, but at the beginning it was me hustling, trying to find guests
Sure.
or friends or whatever I could.
Yeah.
So you packaging this up for me in a nice little box and with a nice little intro was so meaningful and so helpful to me. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Oh,
That was
well,
very sweet.
truly my pleasure. My
That was very
pleasure. I'm
sweet.
glad it's worked out.
Oh, well, barely.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, it's very good segue.
Glad you actually made it
It's
here.
barely worked out because let me tell y'all, getting to Nashville was not easy. We've been through canceled flights. We've been through a flight we almost got on, but then they had maintenance issues. And then we had to go back home to Houston. And then I didn't have any of my bags. So hence why we're recording on our tiny mics. Because I
And
promise
is that um
a bowl.
is that a toilet bowl?
We're classier than that. That's a mixing bowl, Lauren.
Okay. Well, it looks like okay, I'm going to tell
Like
too
a
much about myself here, but it looks like something I've had to pee in before. I can't believe this is how my episode is starting, but it does look like something that my doctor has given me
I
before.
promise we got out of the kitchen.
Okay, I believe you.
Now what?
But it's hilarious. Like, it is hilarious to see your podcast set up in because your bags didn't make it to Nashville.
I know.
Like, this is what creativity is all
I
about right
know.
here.
And for those of you who can't see, it's describe it.
Me?
Yep. What do you see?
Okay, well, first of all, we are in the cutest Airbnb
We are.
on Music Row
Shout out
in Nashville.
Nashville, Dolly Oasis, Music Row.
Yep, it really is cute. And there is a nice, sleek, modern-looking coffee table with a, like, I don't know what you call these, like a crocheted, powder
Puff.
puffy,
Mm-hmm.
ottoman on top of the coffee table, and the thing that looks like the toilet bowl that they swear is a mixing bowl.
Or it could be a top. Look, kind of looks like a top hat now to
Kind
me.
of, yes, it's plastic and white. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 large books, everyone from Jen Hatmaker to James Patterson, and an empty wine glass holding the, camera that is an iPhone that almost doesn't have enough space for this episode left on it.
We shall see. We shall see. And in the background, our lighting is.
And then Hannah holding some kind of did y'all bring that?
No, I had to Uber Eats it or like
Oh,
Uber it from like
okay. Just
Office
some kind of
Depot.
handheld light, that Hannah is holding, and I don't know how long we're gonna be talking, but wow,
No,
that's gonna
she's
hurt.
held it. This is like her third time holding
Oh my
it.
goodness. You're gonna go back to Houston with, like, big old biceps.
Okay. This is because we lost our bags. I just finally found out they were in Paducah, Kentucky, and
Oh.
I'm gonna get them. They're gonna ship back to Houston sometime.
Are you leaving tomorrow?
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
even tomorrow. But I promise you, we usually have very professional equipment, big box lights, my corded mics with my mic flag on it with mommy artists. Like I promise it's usually much more
It
professional.
I'm not complaining.
But I did
I'm happy
not
to be
I
here.
think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. Okay, so I wanna talk a little bit about little Lauren. Okay, so you was she as confident as you are now? And when did you start singing, playing music? Um, because I know from your sister, you grew up in like a jewelry dynasty. Okay.
Dynasty. That's a
So
dramatic word, but yes, a family-owned jewelry
yeah,
business, yes.
no, it was a 54-year
Yeah,
long.
that's true.
I know. So, you when did you know like music, singing, songwriting was going to be like your thing? Or like when did it even come into your head?
Yeah, so music and performing came when I was 3 years old, and it's really because of my sister,
Oh
Becky.
wow.
She auditioned for a community theater show in South Carolina where we grew up, and my mom took me to the audition just to so she didn't have to pay a babysitter. I
Right.
don't know what my dad was doing at the time, but at any rate, I went with my mom and my sister, and I watched my sister and all these other young people auditioning, and apparently I don't remember this, but I said that really looks like fun and I want to do it.
Mhm.
And so, of course, I didn't have a song prepared. So I got up and recited the Mother Goose poem. There was a little girl who had a
Oh,
little curl.
oh,
Do you know this one?
cute. Yeah.
Right in the middle of her forehead.
Yes, I do know
Or
that.
forehead. Because when she was good, she was very, very good. But when she
She
was
was bad.
bad, she was
Mhm.
horrid.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm, 3 years old. I guess I charmed
Wow.
the director with that one
Well, I mean,
and
that's
got into the
impressive that
show.
you even got up in front of people to do it because at that young age, a lot of kids don't have that in them.
I suppose so. I mean, to answer your question, like the confidence
Mhm.
piece was there in spades at 3
Right.
years old
Right.
and through most of my young childhood. And then, like middle school, you get awkward and
Yep.
all that stuff happens. And then I
Mm,
was less so.
mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I was a pretty precocious kid, I think.
Cool. I love that. And so arts have always been something, and especially singing, always something you knew you wanted to pursue.
Yeah, singing, performing. I loved being on stage. I loved connecting with an audience, even from that young
Mhm.
age. Also, like back then doing theater, it's like it's fun. You get to dress up. I got to wear makeup when I was
Yes.
little,
Yes.
and just pretend to be other people in costumes. And I mean, just everything. It was just magical. I got to
Magic.
stay up late
Mhm.
because the shows, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it was just this really not traditional thing that and I didn't a lot of times I would only do it in the summer. There
Right.
was like a summer show that my
Right.
mom
She
would let me
mentioned
do,
yes.
Showstoppers,
Yes.
because during the year, I mean, I had school, right?
Mhm.
But then in summer, it was like we could loosen the schedule some. So
Mhm.
like it was just this fun thing I got to do.
That's so cool. And I agree. Being on stage, like for me as an actress, magic. Like
Yeah.
being a part of a cat. Me and Becky talked about being a part of a cast. magic.
Yeah,
Like
it really
the
is.
whole and I'm introverted like by nature. And so and I was a very shy child. And so it was it was an interesting thing to be interested in, but I'll tell you, like, once you step on the stage and you become someone else and you get to like dress up, like, as you said, and play the different roles. And then all the like, the theater classes that I went to were kind of like forms of therapy for me. And it
Mhm.
was like, and I just turned into this different person. And you could be someone else, right? You weren't you. So
Yeah.
how could people judge you? Because
Yeah.
you were someone else. And I happened to be, and then I was like, I'm kind of good at
Yeah.
this. Like, and then, people would tell you, like, wow, and then, just kind of took off from there. But I mean, I'll tell you and so what about like the after for you? Like, cause I loved the curtain call. I
Oh,
mean, and the like applause. And I just feel like that's such like a feeling very little people get to experience. And maybe it sounds, now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds kind of vain, but but I'm meaning more like, I don't know. It's just something that fills your soul. Like
no,
the
I know what you mean. Well, you get the immediate feedback.
right, true.
And
Immediate
so,
gratification.
yeah, and that I mean, yeah, it does feel nice, and I think that, I mean, all artists, I think, are ego driven at some point,
Right,
at
right.
least in the beginning, maybe. But yeah, I mean, for sure, that was fun.
Yeah, and it's also just like, man, I just did that thing.
Yeah,
And like, I don't know. I loved it. I love
I will say though now, and I think looking back, what I know now as an adult is
mhm,
that if you do have that a gift, whatever your gift is,
right.
it doesn't matter. But if it happens to be one where you get that immediate gratification and that immediate feedback of applause, if it's acting or singing or
Mhm,
whatever, I do think that's secondary to the point that it's I think we have a responsibility to
mhm.
share our gifts, whatever they
Yes.
are. And some people's gifts are not out loud in public on a stage,
Right.
but I do think we have a responsibility to share that. If you're a stage performer, that just kind of comes
I
with the
know it comes with
territory.
it. It's like an added bonus.
Yeah.
But like songwriting, so important, so cool, so hard to do. So,
No
uh,
applause for that.
no
Unless
applause for
unless you're,
that.
maybe performing a song for a songwriter round like we came
Right.
to last night, but
Right.
I mean, songwriters are like way in the background, right?
I know, which is so unfortunate. And then I learned today that the pay also kind of like goes along with that.
Yeah, no applause and no pay.
No,
What the heck?
and if you're a woman, also I've learned today too that like the industry, there's this like male dominated kind of thing that you guys are trying to break out of. And like that's why you're so community based and willing to help each other out, because it's a struggle, and like you're trying to like break out of that. Would you agree?
I think in certain genres more than others,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, definitely as on the artist side, I mean, just country radio just has never, not never. There have been it's been cyclical, but there have been cycles where they have not wanted to play female artists
Mhm.
nearly as much as male artists. But I mean, I will be honest, like I there is a really strong network of girl singer songwriters,
Mhm.
women, in town helping each other, and I love that.
Mhm.
I don't know that I personally feel slighted in any way. And in fact,
That's
the
good.
project I'm working on now, Leanne on Netflix,
Mhm.
Kev Mo brought me into that. And I mean, now if I will say I am the only female on the team, but his management is female.
Okay.
He has female leadership on his team. He has me in a leadership role on the team for the
Great.
composition. Like I have had men absolutely support me
That's
and
great.
give me some of my biggest
Well,
opportunities,
I love to hear that too, because that's a different perspective from some of the things I've been hearing. So that
Yeah, and I mean, those things aren't false. People
right.
are having those
Right. But
experiences for
it's great
sure.
to know that there are still, good men and some equal opportunities there, and things seem to be getting better. And that's,
Yeah,
I mean, progress.
yeah, yeah.
Girl power.
That's right.
All right. Lauren performed at the Grand Ole Opry at age 11. How did that
Okay,
happen?
so nutshell, started, performing at 3, did a lot of community theater, really fell in love with musical theater for a while, like traditional musical theater. And then also listened to country radio because my grandma would pick me up and after school and take care of me a lot until my parents got home for work or from work rather. And so grew up listening to country radio, and then the 90s hit and Garth Brooks and Shania Twain and
Oh,
Faith Hill and like the huge country explosion.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah,
90s
same,
country.
same. And so I started singing a lot of country music at festivals and pageants and different things like that. And one thing led to another, and someone introduced my parents to somebody who knew someone at the Grand Ole Opry.
Right.
And at the time, they had a show on the Opry called the Grand Ole Gospel Hour.
Okay.
And so that is what I sang on. I stood in that wooden circle that's like the tradition of, what they brought over from the Ryman and put in the Opry
Oh,
house.
wow.
And sang on the Grand Ole Gospel Hour when I was 11. I sang One Day at a Time. And then I was invited back, I think it was about 2 years later, and sang again. And then several years later, I graduated high school and went to Belmont for college and ended up getting a record deal with Warner Brothers and got a chance to play several times on the actual Ole Opry radio show.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm just a huge thrill, a huge honor.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was just a thrill.
Very proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
Very proud of
Thanks,
you.
Megan.
How has growing up in the South shaped your sound? Because you're a little rock and roll,
Mm.
you're a little bluesy,
Mm-hmm.
you're a little country.
Mm-hmm.
How did that all, where did that all mix? Is that your love of all those kinds of music? Or it's actually your voice leans to
Yeah.
it all as well?
Yeah. I don't really know where that part comes from. The vocal, like just that kind of innate soulful thing that is
That's just who you're
happening.
born
But
with.
yeah, I guess I don't really know how that happens. But
Yeah.
at any rate, yes. So we had a woman who would help clean our house for a little while, and sometimes I'd come home from school and she was listening to like black gospel church on the
Oh,
radio.
cool.
And we had like an intercom system. So it like was blaring through the whole house.
Mhm.
And so I listened like kind of peripherally. I was actually around a lot of gospel music at a young age because of that. And then also the theater shows that my sister and I would do in the summer were not like Broadway musical theater. It was at a community theater, but it was actually a musical review of songs from like the 30s all the way to present day, which was like 80s and 90s at that
Right,
point.
right.
And so it was like jazz standards and Sesame Street songs for the kids and golden oldies and patriotic song. Like it was just the best music education.
That sounds like a movie, like a summer in a movie.
Yes.
It sounds like the Dirty Dancing
Yes.
like
it really
place that
it was
they
like
go
that.
to.
Yes. Yes.
That's cool.
And so I don't know, I just got a really big music education at a young age of just being around so many different genres, so many different types of musicians. The music director would put sheet music in my hand at 3 years old, even though he knew very well I couldn't read that yet. But he just treated me like an adult, he just like, she'll seep something in,
She'll figure it
and I
out, yeah.
did, and
That's
so
awesome.
I don't know. I just am really grateful for that experience growing up. It really shaped me, I think.
So, last night I was lucky enough to see Lauren at Chief's Buddy's place,
Yeah.
and it was a what do you call songwriting round?
Yeah, songwriter round. Yeah.
Songwriter round. And you mentioned at that round that sometimes it was a problem because you were like, you're not country enough or you're not bluesy
Oh,
enough.
yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It really took me quite a long time, I think, to find um well, I was going to say find where I belonged,
Mhm.
which I think is partly true, and I think I belong there now, which I'm focusing a lot on writing for TV and film,
Mhm.
and almost anything could goes for that,
True.
but
True.
I'm just kind of hitting the thing that I like to do over and over and over again, and I'm finding opportunity there, and it
Mhm.
feels so great to just be me and like,
Yes.
oh, I'm accepted in this
Right.
lane. This is
Finally.
great.
Yes.
But I think it's actually a combination of partly finding where I belong, which took forever.
I
And then
mean,
also not caring, like
yes,
not caring that I didn't belong other places.
right. The confidence.
Yes, and just stop trying to chameleon myself and fit
Mm-hmm.
myself into certain boxes for opportunity, and
Mm-hmm.
instead just do the dang thing the way I want to do it and
Mm-hmm.
let opportunity find me. And that seems to be
That's
working.
great.
It
And
feels
that's
it
like
feels a lot better.
in life as well. Like
100%.
and I feel like when you get your 40s, it's like you care less. You
Yeah, for sure.
finally
Mhm.
you care less. Finally you can become your higher self, your authentic self, and it's like it seeped over it for me into this podcast, and like finally not caring about the content I put out, or if this person's going to be worried about this, or
Mhm.
and for you in the music world, the genres, and then you finally fit it like where you fit in and stopped caring, and then found your lane, and it's cool how that happens.
Yeah, I will also say when I had my record deal, which was like in the early to mid 2000s,
Mhm.
it was all about pleasing radio,
Mm.
and recording things that radio would play, because that was your biggest way to get exposure,
Mhm.
was to be played on the radio.
Right.
And now the way we consume music,
Mhm.
it's
With like
now all through
streaming.
streaming.
Mm.
And it's a double-edged sword. They're not, there are good and bad things about streaming, but one good thing about streaming is it's also mood based and playlist based. And so, I mean, you
Yes.
can literally find a playlist for almost anything you can think of.
Yes.
And so genres are like a little blurrier.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter as
Mhm.
much. So, I mean, I think we all are able to stretch creatively right now to just kind of try different things, because it's like, well, if you don't fit on this playlist, you're going to fit on this other one. And that,
Right.
like it's all, everything fits.
And does Spotify put your like will you find like yourself on a playlist you didn't know you were on? Does that happen?
Every now and again, although most of the time that happens because Warner Brothers will occasionally put my singles that they did release back in
Okay.
the day
Okay.
on compilation stuff.
Okay.
And every now and again, something will pop up, and I'm like, I didn't know I was on like a Women of Country
Right.
day. That's cool,
Right.
But it's usually because of that.
That's cool. I didn't know
Um,
how that worked because
but
I always on Spotify. I'm like, yesterday I was like, girls trip Nashville, and it
oh
just
yeah.
comes up with something like,
Well, I've been very grateful to be included on some cool playlist. I just released a single in February called "Chasing Lightning," and it
yes.
has the most like blues rock edge of anything I've
Hmm.
released. Earlier in that release, I was included on some playlist with people like artists like ZZ Ward and Dorothy, and just some heavier rock
Right. Right.
chicks, and that was really cool. But like for every release, I could even oftentimes the genre that I'll put for the release is slightly different,
Hmm.
because like that was kind of blues rock. I'm releasing another single in April, and that is going to be more soul based,
Hmm.
and so it all fits. They could all fit on the same record even. There's a through line that sounds like cohesive,
Right.
but you can kind of just shake things up with each release now
Hmm.
because of the playlist and mood mentality.
That's cool. And I love Chasing Lightning, by the way.
Oh, thank
Me and
you.
Hannah were listening to it the other
Oh,
day. It's
nice.
awesome. It's like has such good vibes. It's like a, upbeat, like also I feel like empowering,
Yes,
like
good.
finding your way, just, go for the gold kind of song. And that's what we need right now. The world's crazy right
No.
now.
You know what I love is I've had women write to me on socials, and they're like, "This is a song I like to work out to," which I
Yes,
love hearing that. I think it's perfect for that. It's
it is.
perfect for like the workout, or like pump you up in the morning, get
It's
you ready for the
hype
day.
girl, hype
Yes.
girl song.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you felt the feeling like this is where you were supposed to be in this like songwriting performing space? But I
Hmm.
guess it was always now talking to you, you were kind of always there. But was there like a
Yeah.
moment?
When you asked that, the first thing that came to mind, I mean, I do think I knew again from a really young age, like
Mhm,
this is what I wanted to do. Um, but there is a really specific moment that's coming to mind, and it was, I guess I was about 21 when I got my deal at
mhm,
Warner, and it was in April. And I remember it was like a beautiful, gorgeous day, clear as could be. and I was driving to the label they had already heard some recordings I had made with my producer,
Mhm.
and that's what got them interested to
Mhm.
want to meet me. And so then I got a meeting to drive over there and play live for the staff.
Mhm.
And I just remember like this was the big like, oh my gosh, I'm playing for a major record label.
Right.
Like holy moly,
Right.
right? Like this was the big moment. And I just remember this calm fell over me on the way there. And I somehow it was like this knowing. It was like, I think this is already mine.
Mhm.
I just gotta go through this meeting and like
Mhm.
and go get it, you know?
That's very cool.
And of course I didn't know for sure, but
Mhm.
there was just this calm certainty that just fell over me. And I just remember like just having this knowing feeling
I
on the
love
way over
that.
there, and that doesn't that's happened occasionally in my life,
Mhm.
but it doesn't happen often,
Mhm.
and I have learned to trust that. Like, I
Mhm.
do think there's something to that feeling, and usually those moments are right.
That's a great moment. That's a perfect answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost out of body, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yep.
I wasn't manufacturing this feeling, it
Right.
was just this I couldn't quite explain, like,
You're like,
I
this
don't
is
know.
happening.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
It was
love that.
very
That was a great answer.
weird, but cool.
Yeah, I
I wish
love
it would
it.
happen more often.
I wish that would happen to me. Tell me about Urban Cowboy and how that opportunity came about.
Yeah, so I feel like there have been several times in my life where musical theater and country music have collided, which
Mhm.
is so cool because they don't it doesn't seem like they would fit together, and yet somehow they're both in my background and I have found opportunities with them colliding, which is
Yes.
crazy. But okay, so this is actually kind of a wild story, I think. So when I was about 14, Leanne Rhymes happened,
Yes.
and she had her first big hit. She was
Mhm.
13, I think.
Mhm.
And so once that happened, everyone in Nashville started looking for artists like Leanne
Young.
Rhymes,
Uh-huh.
young female
Mhm.
country singers. And so, I'd been here singing at the Grand Ole
Opry.
Opry, the
Mhm.
Gospel Hour, and had made some trips to Nashville, and my parents kept getting introduced to people in the industry and helping me reach my dreams. They're very, very supportive.
That's
And
awesome.
so someone introduced my mom and dad to someone at Sony Publishing. And he ended that at that point I was in high school playing with a cover band in South Carolina. And so he flew to South Carolina and saw me perform and then
Mhm.
brought me back to Nashville. And I ended up signing my first publishing deal at 14 years old with Sony.
Wow.
And because in the wake of Leanne Rhymes,
Mhm.
like I really
Mhm.
owe Leanne, if I ever get to meet her, I should thank her because it
Leanne
was
Rhymes,
only
if you're
because of Leanne
watching, thank
Rhymes.
you.
It was just like right time, right place, right
Yes,
look,
exactly.
right age, like whatever. So, nutshell version, I'll try to be a little more brief. So I get this deal. The point of the deal is to teach me how to write songs
Mhm.
because I really had not written before,
Mhm.
and get me a record deal.
Mhm.
And so he put me in some rooms with some pro writers. I learned a little bit about writing. I got my name on a few songs, and then we demoed them, and they started shopping me around to labels, and I ended up getting a development deal with RCA.
Cool.
And then, like, literally, they gave us the green light to go back in the studio to record some more songs. And I got an audition opportunity for an off Broadway show that was workshopped in Houston. I
Oh,
actually went to
cool.
Houston and lived there for about 3
Oh,
months.
cool.
Anyway, got the chance to do this off Broadway show, which was an original country music show about this like dysfunctional family.
Mhm.
And anyway, it doesn't matter. So the director of that show ended up several years later adapting Urban Cowboy into a Broadway musical.
Cool.
And so I already had the relationship with the director from that first off Broadway show.
Mhm.
And then a few years later, he was ready to workshop Urban Cowboy. And he asked if I would fly to New York and play the lead character, the Deborah Winger role, Sissy. And so
Wow.
I'm like late teens at this point.
Yes.
And so I went to New York and I workshopped that, which I didn't really know what that meant. And I still don't know a ton about that world. But
Mhm.
apparently, like, we had scripts in our hands, we had popular cover
Mhm.
songs in place of where the music should go.
Okay, right.
And so it was basically just like a sketch so that bigwig Broadway executive people could get a feel for
for
what
the
the
show.
show is going to be
Mhm.
and decide if they want to move forward and I guess
Fund
funding
it.
it for
Mhm.
Broadway. And so I went up there for it was like a week or whatever and did rehearsals and then did the performance. And then they got the green light to move to the next step.
Mhm.
By that point, I was going to college at Belmont here in
Mhm.
Nashville. And he came to Nashville looking for original music now to put into the show.
Cool.
So I introduced him to a few publishers in town, and there was this one scene that it was very specific. It was the like seduction scene
Okay.
where the John Travolta character is seduced by this cowgirl named Pam
Okay.
in the movie. And so he was like, I cannot find a song for this. And I had the script already because, playing the part.
Right.
And so I got with my friends Sarah Light and Danny Arena, and we wrote a song for that scene. And he thought it
Cool.
fit perfectly, and it ended up getting in the show.
That's amazing.
So yeah,
I love that.
yeah,
And what's funny because I'm a big Broadway
yes, that's
lover,
right.
and I feel like country music is essentially the new it thing to do on Broadway.
Mm.
Like the sound the we're gonna edit that out. The amount of shows I've seen recently that have like a southern edge or like southern sound, one being the outsiders,
Yeah,
is
I
really
didn't know is it
cool.
country music in The
It's
Outsiders?
folk.
Okay, so I'm familiar with the book from reading it like in
Yes.
school, but
Yes.
I have not seen the show. I didn't know that.
So I have a crazy connection. One of my good friend's brothers they were in a band called Jamestown Revival,
Oh
and
yeah,
they
I'm familiar with that band.
you are? Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Well, Jonathan is my friend's brother, and they, sent in on an audition to do the music for the Outsiders, and they got chosen. So they wrote the lyrics and
Wow.
music for the Outsiders.
Very cool.
And
Well, I
they
can't wait to hear it.
yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, I will check that out. I had no idea it was folky or country or
Yep.
anything. I just thought it was like Broadway musical.
I know. Nope. It's so cool.
That's very cool. I can't wait to
Yes.
check it out.
Yes, you
That's
should.
awesome. Well, and I will say, like, country music is so story based,
Mhm.
and musical
True.
theater, of course, is really story
True.
based. But it's really interesting to look back now, seeing how much focus I'm putting into TV and film music now.
Mhm.
And it's like some of my biggest opportunities, even from a young age, came from that very same process. It was
Mhm.
like getting a brief or getting a script
Mhm.
and trying to plug a song into that exact storyline that the director needs.
Mhm.
And that's really what I'm doing now with TV and film music. And that is always the doors that have opened for me have always been in that lane.
That's cool.
Even though I spent many, many years, chasing down the record deal and
Right.
doing the touring artist thing,
Right.
and which is fun, and I love that all in its own way. But it's just so interesting how like essentially I was writing to brief even back then for
Right.
Urban Cowboy.
You were like just forming your way to get there.
Yeah, and I just had no idea.
So do you find writing for TV and film because it's supposed so specific and because you're writing for a specific story and you're not able to, kind of tell your own story and
Mm.
do you feel like you lose a little of the creative aspect of the process?
No, but I will say I approach it two different ways.
Okay.
So there are times where I will get a brief and I'm writing specifically for that story.
Okay.
And I love that actually. Weirdly, and maybe you find this true with acting or
Mhm.
other creative
Mhm.
things you do, but you know how like if someone asks you what's your favorite color, your mind goes blank and you're like, "Ugh, I like them all. I don't know. I
Right,
can't even think
right.
of a color right now.
Yes,
What's a
yes,
color?"
yes.
But if someone's like, what specific shade of green is your favorite? And
Right.
now you're like, oh, thanks. You've narrowed it down for me. I
Okay.
know what to say.
Okay.
It's kind of like that in a weird way. There's almost more freedom in the
I
guardrails,
get it.
you know?
Mhm.
And I also really love the team aspect. I love
Mhm.
collaboration. So, like, knowing that I am working usually with another, like a producer in the room to fit the story that this director needs or this writer needs. I actually love knowing that I'm like a team player in that,
Yes, and it's almost
you know?
like a challenge and putting the
It
pieces
is. It
together,
is,
and you're
exactly.
like, "Yes!" I'm
And
sure
that
that
is, it's
moment when it's
really
everyone's
fun.
like, "No, this," and it's all connection, and
Yes,
I can
it's
see
very
that.
fun to me. So there are moments that I'm writing specifically to brief, and that's what we're doing with Leanne in a different way. It's not like we don't write lyrics other than the title theme that I sang, which
Okay.
is just her name. But we're doing that musically, just
Okay.
instrumentally,
Okay.
which that's a really cool challenge I had not experienced before, and I'm loving it. So that's cool. And then on the other side of things, even though I am focused on TV film, I will also write songs that I just love and I feel fit my artistry,
Mhm.
but just always keeping in mind like, oh, this could fit these different
Right.
scenarios, and keeping it broad enough that it could still fit other people's story too and potentially get placed.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of like doing both simultaneously.
Right. So you're not losing out on anything because at
Right.
any given moment, at any given day, you could write a song that you want to write
That's
just
right.
for yourself.
Yep, and a
Co-
lot of the singles I'm releasing this year are the ones that I wrote just because I love them artistically, but I
Mhm.
think they could also be really good for TV and film
Mhm.
storylines.
Love that.
But then like later this year, I have a single planned that I wrote with my co-writers very specifically to a brief.
Mhm.
And I'm like, but I also just love it. And the show
It
ended up
just
getting
worked out that
canceled
way.
and it
Oh,
didn't get in the show. And so I'm like, well, I'm gonna still release it, But
yes.
that one started from a brief.
Right. Okay. That's cool. So let's talk about touring and family life and what that looks like and kind of your support system and all that, along with mom guilt,
Mhm.
along with all those things. So, who is your support system when you are out on tour?
My support system is my husband,
Mhm.
Dan. We have an almost 6-year-old. He'll be 6 in a week. And I mean, I don't even know what to say. I can't say enough. Like he's so supportive and so patient with me because, you know, we basically got married and I was not in a band. And then a band called to see if I would join them. And I was like, okay, I know we just got married, but see ya.
I know, sorry.
Went on a radio tour with them and toured. But I mean, he was actually able to come out with me a lot. This is before we had a child, of
Mhm.
course, but he was actually able to come out with me a lot because he had a pretty flexible schedule with his work and went to Switzerland on a tour and he went, and I mean, it's just been he's game for whatever. And I'm so grateful.
So, have you been on tour since you've had your son?
I have done one-offs. So
Okay.
like I will do a weekend or a short week or something like that, but not, I mean, I was doing over 100 dates a year
Wow.
just before COVID. So, I mean, no, and I'm not really interested in doing that type of touring
Mhm.
anymore, or at least right now,
Mhm.
probably for a while. Um, but actually have several songwriter festivals planned. I've had the great pleasure of opening for the Bacon Brothers, Kevin and Michael Bacon, over the
What?
years, and they asked me to do some shows with them in Texas and some other folks. I played Green Hall in
Yes.
Nashville.
I've been there. You
Yes.
have to let me know when you're in Texas so we can meet up.
Oh, for sure I will. I
Okay.
will. So I mean, I will do things like that occasionally, and then I have some songwriter festivals planned for this year, later in the year,
Mhm.
and I love doing those. And I love touring enough that it just kind of scratches the itch and that
Mhm.
performance itch. But I don't really want to be on the road like I was before.
Right. Do you suffer from mom guilt when you're away?
For sure. Now I will say, like, I just went out to LA for a week, and like that was a long trip for me. I
Mhm.
was really nervous leading up to it and then missed them a lot when I was there. And also absolutely felt like I was doing the right thing and was right where I was supposed to be. Like I felt all those things at once, which is kind of I think what mom guilt's all about. It's like it's both.
Yes. Everyone experience mom guilt and it's just not something that we can even right now like I'm experiencing it right now
Oh
and
yeah.
you have to coordinate all the things. My kids are a little bit older so I mean I'm sure your kid is in activities too but like I'm like okay who's taking to baseball, who's taking to cheer practice, who's doing this and this and this and it's like and all the and right before you leave, it's a lot of like, "Mom, I don't want you to go. Please don't go." And you're like, "I'm sorry, mommy has to go." I guess wrapping up mom guilt, it's a necessary evil.
Mhm.
Because we have to do what we have to do or we're not gonna be happy.
I feel momentum in my career right now. I want my child to see me working hard. I
Mhm,
want my child to see me pursuing my dreams and going after what I want, and also in return, seeing the benefits of that.
mhm.
and I really want to help support my family.
Yes.
And so it's like, you got to work.
Yes.
And I happen to love what I do. So that's bonus,
That's such a bonus. I want to talk about the Netflix series Leanne and how season 2 is coming up.
Sure. Yeah.
And tell me about that, how you got involved with it, and then what's to come.
Season 1 of Leanne is out on Netflix. It is there for you to binge if you haven't seen it yet. It came out last summer.
Hilarious.
2025. It really is funny. Like, that's really not, it's not my job to like think it's funny or care if it's funny.
Right.
I'm
Like
just
your
there
genuine
doing
opinion.
the music, but it really is funny.
Because she is so funny.
And I have to tell you, and they don't pay me to say this. It does not matter what I think of the show, but we get to watch every episode. We are composing 2 pictures, so we see every episode.
Right.
And I am not kidding you. The writing is funnier this season. It is even funnier.
Oh, good.
It is just
That's
hit
awesome.
on the nerve of just the everyday slice of life stuff.
Does she help write the show?
I don't know.
No, okay.
I don't even know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I know.
Because she writes all the content for the comedy.
Yeah, I would have to imagine she has a hand in it, but I don't know. Anyway, it is even funnier. So I'm really excited for people to see it. And it's my mom just laughed through the whole season 1.
Oh my gosh.
But at any rate, so yes, so we are composing the music. So I'm singing the title theme, the Leanne at the top,
Cool.
and then and also composing with a team of other musicians the instrumental transition music you hear between scenes, and then the outro music. If you don't say you want to watch the credits and click that little button, they'll just go to the next thing.
Right.
But if you decide one day to watch the credits, occasionally you'll hear like the song at the end.
Cool. So, that's fun. And that's like your main focus right now, right? Like,
well, it's one of them. I mean,
I'm sure you have your hand
creative
you have
life.
your hand in everything.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, you have to wear a million hats.
Yes.
Or I shouldn't say have to. You get to wear a million hats. So yes, composing for Leanne is one of the hats. And so grateful for it. It really is fun. It's a new experience. I had never composed instrumental cues for a TV show before, so it's a new skill that I've learned. And
is it difficult?
Sometimes it is challenging, mostly because the cues are so short. I mean, you're making 5 to 8 second pieces, sometimes 3 second pieces of music.
Right.
So it's not like developing a whole song. I mean, it's like, how do you get in and get out and not really match the emotion of the scene, because the writers are telling the story,
right,
not the music. So I mean, it's you kind of fit in this weird spot of like, you really don't want us to be noticed, but you'd miss us if we weren't there.
I get it.
So it is kind of a challenge, but it's fun.
What does it actually look like? Is it digital? Are you like doing it
using
digitally?
mostly MIDI?
Okay.
Yeah, and a real electric guitar.
Okay.
And so literally it is a guitar player in the room, and then our engineer, who's a fantastic pianist, and then another composer in the room who's writing parts, and myself writing parts, and occasionally playing the MIDI drums and bass as well.
Like, are you writing down? I'm trying to wrap my head around.
Yeah, no, we are just talking in the room.
Okay.
And then be like, okay, what if we did like dun,
okay,
dun, 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 or whatever. And what if that's like that was the guitar riff, and then we'll put a metronome on, he'll record that guitar part at that tempo, and then okay, cool, let's layer in a drum part under it. Okay, great, let's add in a bass.
Well, that seems super fun.
Yeah,
that seems super fun.
Yeah.
I like that. Are you ready for the hot seat segments?
Yes.
I was like, are you not? Like, I forgot what I had to do. Songwriting or performing live?
Performing live. Bossy. Performing live.
A lyric you're most proud of?
Okay, the first thing that comes to mind is a song I have not released yet and no one has heard. It's a song of after I miscarried, before I had my child. And the chorus is like, the wind doesn't know it's blowing when it's rolling through the Carolina pines. The sun doesn't know it's setting when it's dipping below the line. And that's how I love you, like my heart was made to. And nothing can undo how I love you. You were always mine.
I love that. That was great. That was great. Hot chicken or margaritas?
Oh, neither.
Kiss, Marry, Kill. Dolly Parton, Blake Shelton, Morgan Wallen.
Oh, wait, what are the? Okay, Kiss, Blake Shelton,
Mary.
Dolly.
Kill?
Yeah. Sorry, Morgan.
Goldfish crumbs in your boots or an untuned guitar.
Goldfish crumbs.
Most embarrassing stage moment.
When I fell, this was a long, long time ago, but I fell and I tried to like put my hands up and make it look like a dance move. like I totally meant for it to happen.
Would you survive a zombie apocalypse?
Yes.
Okay, that's the end of the hot seat segment. Now I guess we'll play the game where I'm going to very monotonely read, and it may be a song lyric or it may be something a mom might say.
Okay.
And you have to guess which it is. Take your cat and leave my sweater.
Song lyric.
Don't make me turn this car around.
Song. No, I'm just kidding. Mom.
I'm going to love you forever and ever. Amen.
Song lyric. And something a mom would say.
Oh, good. I'm in a hurry to get things done.
That's a good one, though. I mean, both, but that's clearly Alabama.
Why is there glitter everywhere?
It's either a Katy Perry song or something a mom would say to a toddler.
Mom. I hope you dance.
Song lyric.
She's in love with the boy.
Song lyric. I got a chance to meet Trisha like 2 months ago.
She's my favorite. That's my go-to karaoke song. She's in love with the boy. It's the only one I can sing. I don't know how I can sing it, but I'm not a great singer, but that one somehow comes out really good. You aced it. Good job. Thank you so much for being here. This was so fun.
Well, it is my pleasure. I was excited to be here.
Thank you so much. You really, again, connected all this, put all this together. I'm so grateful for you. I hope we can keep in touch. And when you come to Texas, you've got to call me.
I will. 100%.
Thanks for watching. Remember that you can't have butterfly conversations with caterpillar people and that everyone out there is trying their best. Love you. Bye. All right, besties, my glass is empty, but my cup is full, and that means it's the end of the episode. Remember that you can't have butterfly conversations with caterpillar people and that everyone out there is trying their best. Love you. Bye. You can find the Mommy Artists podcast on YouTube to watch the full video. Give it a like, hit subscribe, and come back next week for more iconic chaos and creative magic. But no worries if not.